Okay, let's get right into it. We all have this idea that being there for people 24/7 makes us a good person, a great friend, a dependable partner. But what if that's the very thing that's making you invisible? We're going to break down 5 powerful ways to stop being so available and start earning the respect you actually deserve.
This quote, wow, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? When you're always reachable, you become invisible, like air. Yeah, it's essential for life, but let's be honest, nobody really thinks about it until it's not there. We're going to change that right now.
So here's the core idea. Immediate access signals low value. Just think about it. When you go to the doctor, what do? You wait. You sit in that waiting room, probably scrolling on your phone, because their time is seen as scarce and valuable. Now contrast that with your own phone. If you're shooting back a reply in 10 seconds flat, what message are you sending about your time?
And that leads us straight into something called the availability trap. See, when you're always there, people don't have to consider you. They don't have to make an effort. You just become part of the background, a convenience. You basically end up being a puppet for their schedule, not a priority in your own life.
Okay, let's make this real for a second. I want you to actually do this. Grab your phone and look at your recent texts. How many of those chats did you have to start? And for the ones you received, how many people waited longer than, say, 5 minutes for you to get back to them? I'm telling you, this little audit can be a serious wake-up call.
So, how do we start breaking this cycle? Well, our first rule is super simple, but it's probably the most important first step you can take. It's time to learn to delay your reply.
And here's a great way to think about it. Let's call it the 60-minute shield. The rule is dead simple. Unless it is a true, honest-to-God emergency, you don't reply to a non-urgent text for at least an hour. That little ping goes off, and our brain is wired to treat it like a fire alarm we have to put out immediately. This rule helps you break that conditioning. You're no longer a servant to a notification.
And this is the magic of it. It's about the silent message you're sending. By just waiting a bit, you're telling the world without saying a word that you have a life. You have things going on that are more important than that glowing rectangle in your hand. And subconsciously, people start to get it. They start to understand your attention isn't a guarantee.
All right, let's build on that. Rule number 2 tackles another reflex we all have, that instant yes to every single request. From now on, you're going to buffer every request.
This simple phrase, this is your new superpower. Someone asks if you're free tonight or if you can help them move a couch. Your old answer was probably, sure. Your new default answer, no matter what, is, let me check my calendar and I'll get back to you. It doesn't matter if you're sitting on that very couch doing absolutely nothing. This is the script. So, why does this little phrase work so well? 2 big reasons. 1, it puts the power back in your hands. It gives you a moment to actually decide if you want to do the thing. And 2, and this is the key, it makes the other person wait. And in that little pause, a small gap of respect starts to form.
I mean, think about it this way. Are you treating yourself like a luxury car that has a waiting list and a whole process to acquire it? Or are you treating yourself like a free sample at the grocery store, something anyone can just grab as they walk by without a second thought? You get to decide.
Okay, this one can be tough, I'm not gonna lie, but man, it is a total game changer. This is rule 3, the unexplained no.
Read this quote. Really let it sink in. When you give this long, drawn-out story about why you can't do something, you're not just being polite. What you're really doing is asking for their permission to have your own life. You're inviting them to poke holes in your excuse and negotiate with your time. And you can see the difference right here. It's night and day. On one side, you have the long explanation, which is really just begging for approval, and on the other, you have a short, simple statement that just oozes confidence. So instead of, oh, I'm so sorry I can't because I have this thing and then my cousin's dog, just try, that doesn't work for me. That's it. No apology. It's clean, it's calm, and it's fine.
All right, let's bring it all together with our final 2 rules, because they're deeply connected. This is about the big picture. It's not just about managing text anymore. It's about fundamentally changing how you operate. It's time to build your world.
So rule 4 is to build a private world. If your whole life is just waiting around for someone else to text you an invitation, you're like an empty house that anyone can just walk into whenever they feel like it. You need something that's just for you. A hobby, a goal, a passion. It could be anything. Learning guitar, training for a 10K, reading a book an hour a day. When people realize your life is already full, they start to value the time you choose to give.
And that leads us perfectly into rule 5, intentional absence. Now, let's be clear. This isn't about playing games or being petty. This is about teaching people how to treat you. If someone consistently disrespects your time, they're always late, they cancel last minute, you just pull back. You become a little less available for a while. You're showing them, not telling them, that your time has value. And disrespecting it has a cost. The cost is access to you.
So let's do a quick recap. These are your 5 new scarcity habits. 1. Wait an hour. 2. Use a buffer for every request. 3. Give no explanations for your no. 4. Get a life, a real private one. And 5. Disappear when you're disrespected. These are the tools.
Now, look, knowing all this is one thing, but actually doing it is where the change happens. So, to wrap this up, I want to give you a really simple way to start putting this into practice. Let's call it the 7-day challenge.
It's super simple. For the next week, just keep track. You don't even have to write it down, just make a mental note. Did I delay my replies today? Did I use the buffer phrase? Did I manage to say no without a 5-minute apology tour? The goal here isn't to be perfect, it's just to become aware of your habits. That awareness is the first step to changing them.
And I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. Seriously, take a second and really ask yourself this. What would change in your life, in your friendships, your career, and your own self-worth if access to you stopped being a guarantee and started being a privilege?